square foot, and that's livable space.
Yeah.
That doesn't count the walls. What about closets? What about?
Oh,
And I'm like, you know, Tom, I'm like, I look for the stuff that I miss. I know what I know.
well, it possibly be considered livable space. but-
Well, and he's like, he goes, we just, you need to define that. And I'm like, but then we're overcomplicated, which is what we're trying not to do.
Yeah.
But I still disagree with them.
They don't want it, obviously, right? I mean.
Well, Tom is just kind of like, for some reason Craig and Mark doesn't want it, and it's,
Cause they wanna build huge houses.
but I don't know why, everything they're doing is 2,000 square foot, it doesn't limit them to anything. When the 0.3 was there, sure, but the 0.4. Craig made that point, he's like, well, you guys divide up the 4 lots, the house that go there still fits a 0.4, I'm like. Yeah, but then why are you arguing against it? Or explain to me what I'm missing, that's
Yeah.
not a good idea. And Tom's only real input is, Tom's like, well, I haven't seen this anywhere on all the places I've worked, I'm like, but. How many of those places, but how many of those places are, but how many of those places are historic?
Yeah, and have a national landmark district and, yeah. And then only, I think people keep missing that it's only in that district, it's not.
And they're not telling people that, because I talked to probably half a dozen people,
Yeah,
and most of them are not, it doesn't affect them at all. And the other ones, in reality, it probably won't, because if you're doing anything over 100 or 150 square foot, you probably can't afford it anyway.
build a house out there.
Well, if you already have a house and you're trying to do an addition,
Oh, in addition, yeah,
yeah,
I think that's what they're trying to do, like. Limit it to just new construction, you know?
yeah, but then, you know, what Tom's point was today, because I told that to Tom goes, so then cool, I could build a brand new house, and in a year I could do a room addition, and I'm like, Tom,
That's good.
that's what I like about him, because he's not there to point out.
It's wonderful, yeah.
You're, that's true.
I just said something like, Ben Seymour is like, why? Said before Christmas.
Well, that's hard for him to get at.
Yeah.
One thing to say to you before we get going,
Just,
you said something last night about the real historic houses hit signs.
whoa, so.
No, let me just say, we had to pay $250 for those, so I don't have one.
Well, and so where I was going with that is because Bob Pagadiano was so adamant about his historic house. And when you add on to it so much and it falls out of true history. So I don't know.
No,
if I-
the sign kind of bothered me.
And I don't like the little flag, and I get that. Well, and what I'm going is the so it should have said registered.
Yeah, they wanted $250 for those flags. I didn't know.
Yeah, but so the registered house versus not, and how, and losing those. But
Right,
I'm
I'm on the list, so.
yeah, so and that's more what I was looking at.
Yeah.
Because,
I just had to say that.
well, I tell you with Tom today, it's funny because
See your house name and Springfield?
because they it's not when they last time and texted me when I was still here. I didn't think I know. He's like, yeah, so they're postponing it. And I'm like, I'm like, you guys missed a good hour discussion.
So I have one other question for maybe both of you. When I walked in last night, the first thing Randy said to me was, do you have frozen pipes? What did I miss? Is everybody in town frozen?
Because I got here not, but a few minutes before you.
Is everybody frozen? Okay, because I'm not, and I do, so I'm not.
No, but we do have some across town.
Okay,
Skyline has been.
so it's not huge.
No, it's not huge, but it's a main water line.
That's, I heard about that, yeah.
So that's,
A man,
yeah, I mean, 6
I
and
did
8
hear
inch.
about that.
So we've been trying to be, thaw it out for 10 days now.
I mean, it happens, happens.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna dig that pipe up, the big main,
If it's a main.
and
it's a problem.
insulate it, and then, put the road back together. But it's.
Missed you.
It's not gonna solve the people's service lines though. They're gonna have to dig theirs up and insulate their lines too. But at least the main will have running water.
I dug mine up, it still freezes, so, but it hasn't.
Did you insulate it?
They did, but
They did.
But in the year since we dug it up, it's frozen once, and that's when we were in Denver for a couple days for Gary's surgery, but it's just hard.
Being at the time too, or
No,
no?
no.
Okay.
Gary had surgery and I went to Denver and did to do.
Well, Cindy Neal's is now frozen twice, and she said she was really, and it's still frozen.
Maybe misinterpreted it.
Because of what Cindy said last night, I turned on another faucet last night.
Yeah.
No, I haven't had any issues, but we're home a lot. That makes a difference. Makes a big difference.
This is a really strong winter. We haven't had like this in a while.
Well, it's when it gets down warm like this.
Yes,
that
this
there's
is
an
the
issue.
entrance. Tomorrow and everything else, it's gonna freeze again.
So sit next.
The issue was Gary had a hip replacement. And we were gone for 2 days and we came home and it was frozen and it was this kind of temperature. That's what the issue was.
Yeah.
Because we were gone 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Push it off.
part of living here.
I know.
It's still a good man.
The joy of this works more.
I don't know about this 3 meetings in 5 days.
But
I don't know how you do it.
that's what my wife said.
And you had a DRC between that time, so I don't know how you do it.
Busy, Rick.
Yeah.
I don't have my glasses and my water in the car, so I'm at a handicap here, guys.
You need some glove?
I've got a pair of weak glasses, but my strong ones are in the car.
This is Alex Verdeel. Hopefully he'll be getting on the board.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
I'm Rick.
Rick.
Nice to meet you.
Alex, is that what I heard?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Ann.
Hi,
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
And you met Ed, this is Kathleen. They all have a ton more knowledge than I have. And so they usually point out.
And you're
I'm
leaving
learning.
us.
I'm trying to learn.
You're leaving us. And
I'm not, hopefully, but I take my knowledge from hearing it, the better.
Share.
Yeah.
Cannot be. Front and personal, this is probably my last in-person meeting for the next 2 months, just so you know. Because I can't do those stairs. I'm gonna have 2 new knees, so I cannot do those stairs.
So please let us know if you need help.
Oh, that's cool, but I could do Zoom, but
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know,
Glad to know.
hopefully in the next couple of weeks, who knows, they would schedule me.
Replacements?
Yeah,
Wow.
one and then 6 weeks later, the other.
Okay.
So I'll be not doing stairs is all I'm saying.
I'm sure we could have one of those riding chairs instead of.
I think he's gonna ride me piggyback.
Anything for you.
It's a beer set training. That would be awesome training. All right, guys, it is Wednesday, March 15th, 2023, 6:03 PM, and I call this meeting to order. Roll call, Jen.
Okay, Chairman Dwayne Kuzinski.
Here.
Kathleen Hecht. Here. Ann Wilken.
Here.
Ed Hilbert.
Here. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I so move.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Denise Newton and Jason Newton have both resigned from the board, which is putting that on record. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the regular scheduled meeting of February 15th, 2023?
I haven't read them.
I think Ed wasn't here.
I wasn't either.
I'll move to approve the minutes. I haven't read them.
I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I don't think we had any issues, and I can't remember if you were here, Kathleen, for that one.
No, I wasn't.
I just
Right,
came
yeah.
straight down, so I don't have.
Yeah, we had a
to
quorum, but I'm trying to think who was the quorum, because that was the question that we had from,
Well, it's
that was Denise.
Kathy was here.
Oh, you were here for this one, yeah.
For the last meeting.
For the quorum.
Here, Ann.
Yeah, but Kathy was also, so it was the 3 of us were the quorum.
Yeah, I just heard this was a question by some other people on that we didn't have a quorum for that one.
I heard
That was
that.
my mistake.
Yeah.
I was so angry about that, but
Yeah, well, me too, I'm like, the town's wrong and Craig's like,
And then he's
sorry.
it wasn't just Craig. Yeah, Mary sits up at the meeting.
All right, we have a recommendation of an encroachment agreement to the Board of Selectmen. That was Dwayne Heydrich, 404 7th Street, historic mixed use. Request is for an approximate 5 feet temporary encroachment into town right of way. We had sent this to DRC, correct, Rick? And then they wouldn't respond to it.
They don't want to make any kind of recommendations, because we're trying to straighten up this process thing.
Yes.
And since it needs to stay in this board, is what they said, and then after you guys make a decision, then they will look at it.
I agree with that. Have you guys thought about that anymore since that meeting when he was here? I've been by there a few times. And I see a whole lot of yard where he easily could have kept everything back and kind of done what he wanted.
I looked at it before the last time we discussed it, and
Well, I read through this and yeah, I looked like everybody else did. And I think this is somewhat different from a normal, or should be somewhat different from a normal. What do you call it? Encroachment license. And the reason I do is that most times we have an encroachment license, it's because there was a misunderstanding or something needed to be done to make for a better, safer condition, or something of the nature that you could see that you still wanted to have the encroachment license, but you wanted to be able to deal with it at some point in the far future or near future. This one I see is something that we want to deal with in the near future. So I don't really have a problem with this, but I think there might be some conditions under which this is applied, that maybe, in 1 year, we not take another look at it, but, just say that should it be renewed for another year, or maybe it's 2 years from now. I just think that we shouldn't just let it be assumed that it could just be one of those things that could be there forever because nobody remembered there was an encroachment license.
Well, and Dwayne's here tonight.
Yeah.
yes.
I'm sorry, maybe I should.
He had stated to me very adamantly at the last meeting that this was very temporary, and so
Right.
the issue I have is, what is temporary? I mean, how long do we?
Well, that's why I was trying to think of how we could manage that in this case, that it didn't become long-term. Even with the best of intentions, things can become long-term. Something happens to you, nobody doesn't know, yeah. Whatever, there could be any number of issues, and I think.
And I think if we're gonna allow it, we need to put time limit down,
Yeah.
if we're gonna allow it to remain.
Mhm. And, I don't know how long it'll take for the trees to establish their roots. I know that I've had trees that, you put them in, they're nice and straight, and obviously they change a little bit over time. So they're rethinking where their roots ought to be. And so I understand that it's not something that happens 6 months from now. So, I guess I would recommend that we look at it, that we approve, but look at it in 2 years, and that would be renewable for a second 2 years. I mean, I don't know how to put that into here, but that's.
Yeah, because it's not like, the way I look at it too, if you're gonna go that route. I don't like how it is, because I think you had plenty of room. It would be different if you had a house that was closed and you're trying to keep roots and stuff off the house. But I respect the board members too, and the longevity of it. Rick, I'm sure it's not like there's plans to go in there and try to do anything with that street anytime soon. Does that seem like a normal motion to make? Does it still have to go to DRC? If it's temporary, then why would it need to go to DRC?
I think what we should do is to keep an annual renewal.
That's what I was gonna say, is one.
Let's evaluate it in a year, and he will have an option to renew it, bring it back for a potential second year, and just do it a year at a time.
And then
It's
have
easier
an
to track.
upper limit.
I would just say, it expires in 1 year and applicant can bring it back.
I mean, how many times?
I would say 2 years, because your roots are gonna be established within a couple of years,
Okay,
so.
But how long has it been there? It's been there 6 months?
so,
Because the applicant's intention was for temporary, he's already communicated that.
right,
And so a year with an option to renew in 1 year, and then expires in total 3 years.
mhm,
If he doesn't renew it, then it immediately expires.
right.
Now, I remember something about snowplows taking it out and lines being cut. Is that a bad memory of
Say
mine?
that again.
It seems like I remember something about the snowplows hit the rocks and there was some lines.
It was sprinkler system
Okay, so that was what was taken up. Was
and the grass, and it's. The main problem is you can park right out of the lawn when during 4th of July.
I just remember there was some kind of an issue with,
Yeah, but snowplow, I mean, that's the widest part of that street through there. It narrows as you go down because the fence from the two doors down is right out and it really narrows there. This is the widest part, so.
Yeah.
If they decide to put sidewalk in, which would be nice, I'm well aware that it's temporary. We have to remove if it's in the way of that. So.
We put in a number of new trees right next to the curb. I mean, there's a 2-foot strip and they immediately thrived. Now, over time, they haven't because they're, well, for many reasons, but they haven't. But in any case, I think in 2 years, you probably will have a fairly strong a bit of roots growing there and it should be stable.
I think doing a 1 year is the way to go with that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, a year from now, it's to get you through another winter.
That gives them.
But they're a growing season.
And the thing is, you can say, motion to approve this with the condition of allowing this to expire in 1 year. Applicant would be eligible to bring it back to you for potential reevaluation. That doesn't give you the obligation to then renew it, because you would be able to change, you can have staff go and assess to see how the roots are doing. But it still gives you the control, and it gives him the freedom to make sure, or the safety to make sure those roots are gonna be established without unhindered.
And it allows you to see what's gonna happen with the road.
Correct,
And
correct.
I think.
And who knows, in a year or two, we may have sidewalks go through there, but at this point, it's not on our list.
Was perfect too, yeah, because otherwise it's not. If you go and it's not fair, then in a year to go back and then you make them move the rocks and lose the trees anyway,
Yeah.
then what's the point?
Correct.
So can I just make a motion to allow this, what is it called? I don't even know what it's called. Encroachment for a year?
Yeah.
A recommendation to the board is what we're doing. Okay,
Temporary.
for a temporary encroachment for 1 year and review it in a year.
I'm not totally,
You weren't
I'm
here.
not aware at all.
You want to
He's
be
back
caught up?
behind us.
Do you want to be caught up real quick first?
Yeah.
He's back behind us here and so
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
I put in trees right there and the landscape company told me if I did not put up something to retain the tree roots, the trees would die.
How do you do that?
How did I do it?
No, how do you do that? You put a tree in and you put the roots down, cover them up. Now what do you do?
So I was just holding the roots in place where they are. That's what it's for. It's temporary rocks, basically, that can be removed. But the dirt would probably, fall out there unless I put something else. I don't know what exactly they would do. But it's just temporary rocks to hold it. It's very wide through there. It isn't really, I lined it up with the curve that's existing from this side of the street, which I didn't realize at the time was not my property, but hindsight's always 20/20. It's a temporary wall, temporary rock retainer kind of retainer.
What about trees? Are they timber?
No, the trees are
And
temporary.
the trees are actually on his property, so otherwise I think we would all have a much bigger issue. So the trees are within his property, 5 foot, correct?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
So there's enough room that once they're established, it shouldn't affect anything.
And you're putting rock down.
your rocks are.
it's already been there.
So if he can put the tree in without our approval, then what's the problem?
He encroached on town property without going through the proper channel. So. if
So the
it's-
kennel I put in is on property.
So this is our or this is his property and this is encroachment.
But it's temporary.
Trees there.
He's already put the trees in. What he's done is put rocks, the dirt to hold the trees.
Yeah,
He's put rock on town property to hold the trees up there. And I'm not sure what's gonna happen to the rocks if we take that.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, the
that-
roots, not the rocks. What's gonna happen to the roots when we take that out? That's.
yeah, I think eventually it works out and have problems.
Yeah.
See, I thought at first it was the bigger trees. I'm like, no, just some big trees. It's
Smaller.
yeah, just some
Yeah.
smaller trees, so it's.
they look big there.
No, that was, you can, these pictures do not show the smaller trees. I'm just trying to show you. And this is back behind us here, but I can't, there's not a picture that's gonna show you what we're talking about. Just trying to catch up and it's not.
So-
This is a better picture. These are the smaller trees. These are the rocks
And
and it goes about 5 feet out into town property
that one,
this way. These rocks are kind of on town property. That's the best picture I see in this bunch.
Which had too, like, if you take the big tree there, it's almost like it's kind of hidden behind there. So, yeah,
so I guess I'm trying to figure out. If the tree is there now, right,
Yes.
and the rocks are there,
Right.
who's got a problem?
He put them on without permission on the town property. That's the issue.
but he did it within the means of it being temporary until the roots come in. So once they realized it, then he went to Rick, correct? And then let them know, and then that's where they need a temporary encroachment license to leave those rocks there.
Well, I think he's fine then for now anyway.
He's out in town.
No,
He's out in the street.
Correct,
He's
yeah.
out on town. property.
this is his property line, he's 5 feet over on the right of way. His rocks are, his trees are fine, but the rocks that he put up to allow the roots to get in,
Yeah,
that part is in the right of way. And so he's come to
how
request
far in the road and
5 feet.
5 feet.
you're kidding. Yeah, you can do that. Huh?
Pardon?
Why did you do that?
Like I said, I didn't realize it wasn't not my property. I thought it was my property, because
But if you look at the way the road goes around,
it's the other, it's lines up with the skirt and go, that's what I thought the property.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. If you're gonna stay that way for another year. I have no problem with that. I'll come by and look at it, you know.
Yes. mine would be-
see, and I'm with you too, I'm like, well, when it's in the road, I don't like that idea, but it's so nice, it's temporary.
It's moss rock, it's spruce trees,
It looks good.
goes with the town,
And,
Yeah,
it's not a house.
okay,
and you were making a motion.
So I made a motion, is there a second?
Hey, can you make a motion, just to make sure I
You can't repeat it.
She moved to recommend an encroachment agreement, a temporary encroachment agreement for 1 year to reevaluate in. At that.
A
time.
year from now,
And
yeah.
allow the owner to come back and ask for another year.
And can you just make sure you amend it to include that he has the option to request another 1 year extension if this board approves it?
Absolutely.
Yes, can I request one thing? Can I request notice of that 1 year so I don't let it skip over or things how things go? Can I get notice of that so that I make sure? I mean, I can make a note of it right now, but I don't know exactly the dates. If you could send me something, an email. So that-
Try, I mean, it's kind of hard, you know, since we don't have a calendar.
Well, and also too, it would be from the time of the selectmen act,
Right,
the motion
that's
selectmen,
true.
so it's from the
Yeah.
time of the selectmen.
Yeah.
Which means 2 weeks.
Like, yeah, March 28th.
If I just had that date, then I would know. Is that-
Yeah.
I mean,
That's,
Yeah,
it's
we have to approve it too.
on, it'll be on the agenda. If this motion passes.
Okay.
Is there still potential to fail?
Yeah. They're a whole other different meeting.
At least not big.
Yes. Yeah. All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 It's
That's it. All right, Jay, you got that?
I
And
think the last thing you need to do is for Alex, if you guys wanna
Oh,
just.
yeah.
Take them.
Make a, I agree to make a motion.
Actually, I'd like to do is I'd like to. Put your background.
Oh, perfect. Oh, yeah.
Cool. Well, my name is Alex. I'm 30 years old. I grew up in St. Louis. I moved to Georgetown just over 8 years ago. I was a ski patroller at Loveland for a handful of years, and the last couple of years I've been working in construction here in town, and it's a fun place to live. I'm definitely like to recreate, go ride my bike and go skiing, and it's been a lot has changed in this time that I've lived here. It seems like it's really started to more people are of my age are moving here,
Which
and
is good.
yeah, it's great. And it seems like a fun educational spot to be part of the system in which things kind of go. Just learn about the town, learn about what's going on.
Okay, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. That sounds great.
Well, I started my career doing just that. I got nominated to be on the planning board, fell in love with it because now you get to see the development of the town, not this town, but it was in Augusta. And you're kind of in the know of what's happening, the potential developments and restorations of things. And you have an opportunity to influence and have a younger person's perspective. So I commend you for doing it. I think or your interest in doing it. So
Yeah, thanks.
great. I'm the town administrator, by the way.
Okay, very nice. Very nice.
So you got, I know you feel sitting there, but you didn't say who you were. I want to do this.
But anyways, I caught the bug back then. And here I am.
Now you're the king of the ship.
I'm the oldest person in town.
So I guess, do you know who we are?
I work with Wayne,
Okay.
but this is the first time I've met.
Well, why don't you guys share who you are and your background and how long you've been on the board? Well, you know.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, you're kind of like you guys' whole history too, because of how.
Yeah.
Influence you have with everything.
Retired architect. I also had a master's degree in historic preservation, and
Oh, wow.
I've been on the board of selectmen, I've been on the DRC. And someone nagged me to come do this, so I did it.
How long have you lived in Georgetown?
33 years.
Okay.
We had our house a little bit before that, and it was not livable. So it had holes in floors and broken windows and no plumbing and no heating, and I didn't have the courage to try the electricity.
And you're in the historic part too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah, and,
Just on Rose Street there.
okay, yeah, gotcha, yeah.
Kind of near Lynette.
yeah, across the street.
Yeah.
She dog sat my dog while I was away for a week last month.
I always knows me pretty well, so we're here a lot.
I've been here 45 years. Worked at Loveland for 35 of those at least, if not more, and just raised my family here and got nabbed into doing this, and I've been doing this about 6 years, the planning commission, and
You're Scott's mom?
I am.
Oh, very, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. 2 babies, what is it?
Right, yeah, I'm friends with Scott.
I'm sure you are. He's been there a long time.
Yeah.
bigger of them. He started skiing when he was 2.
Yeah.
So, It's been a long time, so yeah.
In Hoover. I live, all down the road. There, on that lake. And I've been, in here probably, maybe 20, 30 years. Something, I don't remember, you know. I don't have any reason to remember that. But, I've been on four different boards here. And been fun, you know. So I don't remember. I don't remember how long we've been here either as it before, you know. But it's fun with all get to know all the people, you know, almost, you know. So I enjoy all these people here. It's fun.
Cool.
And welcome, God damn it. Welcome aboard.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
You're supposed to go to the selectmen. Yeah, I mean, what's cool with this is for me, being the newest and with so much knowledge. You know, and then of course, them voting me chairman right early on, and then learning that process. It's been awesome. You know, it's little mistakes here and there. And you kind of learn how to, like, what makes sense. And what's cool with this, there's so much knowledge here. And they've seen it all different aspects of how stuff can go. You know, little mistakes you can make that can turn into big stuff. But also too, in the process where we're at now with trying to amend some code. It's that I think is the greater good that comes from it.
Yeah.
And it'd be good to have you on this board, you know, a young perspective. And then have these people help influence you to see what the town's really about. I mean, you get it, you're around it, but it's a definitely a different perspective. Would you agree, Rick?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And we'll give you like a description kind of like what the planning commission does, certain things that we do now.
Cool.
And then it's a 3-year term.
Yeah.
And we need the 3rd Wednesday of every month here. And then you have the option to join by Zoom if you need to, you know, if you're out of town or something.
Cool. Do you know who Jen is and what she does?
I'm the town clerk,
Okay.
so. Yeah, I'll be sending out
That's
the just, you know, the minutes and get to know, put together all the packets.
Yes, she's always organized.
Very organized. All right, well, any other questions for Alex? You have anything else to add, Alex? All right, I'll make a motion to the Board of Selectmen to appoint Alex Cordell to the Planning Commission.
And that has to go to the selectmen.
Yeah, and then they'll appoint you at their next meeting is March 28th, so they meet on the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays at 6 p.m., which is like up here. So if you wanted them so that they can meet you,
Okay.
if not, you know.
So I'll second that motion.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great, got one more hurdle.
Working together.
Here's my question, are you still interested?
Yeah.
That's a valid question, guys.
This is a good group. Because they're very teachable, their knowledge is incredible, because they've had a lot of things. But it's a great group where we debrief many times of like, oh gosh, what happened here and what could we have done, or how do we get the staff more involved in things and stuff. So it's one of the, to me, the better boards.
But this is pretty minor meeting because
Yeah.
there's only one issue and
Sure.
we discussed it before, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely. Cool. Okay.
All right.
Congratulations, Portland.
Thank you. So do I need to be like something with that? Make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'm gonna do that.
Yes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Bye.